Hello, everyone. This is a special edition of Pajero's Power Play. Start record. We're ready to go. This is Ustream. This is WICR. This is Radiothon. It's a wonderful time for Relay for Life. It's what's bringing us all together. We've got some alumni in the house. They can't hear me. They're not listening to my show.
No.
But shout out to these guys. They're wonderful people. We've really all grown together as a community. And we're the reason, like, we're all studying the same thing. So we come together. We have like a really nice, tight knit community here at Iona College. So thank you for the college for bringing us all together. Shout out to Mike Demergis,
Definitely
runs
shout
this
out to
whole
Mike
thing,
Demergis.
runs the whole show, and let's get into it. So we've got some fun things to talk about. We got some baseball. It's the first week of like games after a long drought of non-baseball season. It's awful. We got a little tease with the WBC, so baseball came a little early for us this year, kind of like
Yeah, we got a little teaser.
Lent did. It's catching some people by surprise.
Yeah.
Like my roommate Patrick, he's really struggling with giving up bread for Lent, and I'm like, dude, we're like 3 weeks into this, so it's like, did you give it up or not? And
How does he just keeps forgetting though.
he keeps forgetting, and like, and if he's out with his friends, and everyone else is like getting McDonald's after like leaving wherever they're coming from, he'll be like, oh yeah, I want like a sandwich too, and I'm like, yo, bro,
You can't do that.
like, yeah,
There's bread on the sandwich.
yeah, like, do you understand what a sandwich is made out of? Like, someone who lives off of peanut butter and jelly too, like Patrick.
Yeah.
I love you, Pat. He's probably gonna see this on YouTube tomorrow. I'm gonna show it to him.
Shout
but
out to Pat.
shout out to Pat, man.
Pipe Major Pat.
Let's get back to baseball.
Of
Both of
course.
our teams are in crappy situations, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. Mets are getting rocked right now, and Yankees lost earlier today.
Mets are 2-2 on the season. They're playing Miami right now. They're down. It was like the top of the eighth last time I checked. They were down like 6-1.
Yeah, it was
Something,
a
so
lot
it's
worse
pretty
last
ugly.
time I checked.
It's pretty ugly. The Yankees lost today. They were winning for most of that game.
Really?
Gave up 2 runs in the 7th inning, and that was it. The pitching couldn't come back, but Betances took the loss on that. Surprisingly, he's having some trouble with his command, and it's starting to affect team morale at this point. We were supposed to
Yeah.
win last night. Again, Severino, really good game up until the point where he gave up a home run. And he walked someone. And as soon as you walk someone, you lose a little bit of your confidence. You start
Leadoff
shaking.
walks always
Yeah.
come back to hurt you.
Yeah, and they had some good things to say. Like Cashman was talking about his slider was really on point. So the fans, from a fan's perspective, we don't really think that the Yankees are gonna have a good secure spot at the 4th position in the rotation. But Severino, man, he's gonna fight for it. And although last night was not his best outing of the season, I will say this, that he's gonna fight. And prove that he deserves to be on the starting rotation. Things are going to come and go for him, but I do think he'll end up with a better season than last year.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can hope for is a better season. You just gotta, when a young guy like that, you just want him to build on the season. You don't necessarily have to expect him to kill it every season, but you definitely want him to build on what he accomplished last year.
And it's also funny because, like, the Yankees, they thought Severino would be the biggest part of their problems. We got CC Sabathia doing fine. We got Michael Pineda, who comes and goes. Again, he didn't have a good outing
Yeah.
the other day. We're not seeing good outings from Yankee
he comes
rotation.
and goes for different reasons, though. He comes
Yeah.
and goes because he gets suspended
Right.
sometimes.
Right. And that's a situation for another day.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Tanaka is not what we saw in the spring. He had a really good spring training, and when it was time for the season to start, again, everyone knows what happened opening day. Pitched 2.5 innings, and then the coach was like, all right, we need to take you out. Girardi said, no more of this.
From
Comes
an
out
outside
today.
perspective, it kind of seems like Tanaka has fell short of a lot of expectations.
Right. And he kind of has. Because when you see his spring numbers and you look at how he started the season, you're like, all right, what's happening? Like, all right, maybe he's got like first stage jitters. All right. Tonight, earlier today, the splitter, he had good control of the splitter, good control of his pitches, and then all of a sudden he was getting himself into these tough jams. He's getting people on base. He had 2 runners on base, second and third, with no outs today on multiple occasions. And I'm watching this game, and I'm like, all right, what's happening here? Gary Sanchez got hurt at today's game. He took a bad swing on a 3-2 count, fastball up and in, jammed him. took a bad foul cutoff and extended his arm. Now he's hurt. He's on the disabled list for 10 days. Best of luck to Gary Sanchez. Hopefully you get a speedy recovery because he's well needed on that team. And some people think he wasn't going to show his full potential like he did at the latter times last season, but I think he's here to prove a point. And I think he's a good player.
He's definitely here to try and prove something. I think he's gonna end up being a great player.
Right, like we're not gonna forget this kid's name. Like he will be something. Like I don't know. People can look back at other players like Bryce Harper and say, "Oh, well, he didn't show up to be what he was supposed to be." I think we're gonna get that idea about Gary Sanchez, and although some people are doubting him right now, I think he's gonna come back and say, "You know what? I'm actually pretty good. I'm better than you thought I was, and here's why." So he's going to come back from that. The Yankees called up someone from AAA to come up. I forgot the guy's name. It's a really long last name.
Going back to Tanaka, though, do you think that his issue is just that he keeps psyching himself out?
I think so. Like, he's getting the jitters. He's psyching himself out. At the same time today, his splitter, he was good control of his splitter, but he can't get himself out of these sticky situations. And when you dig yourself into a hole, any good pitcher, you got to know what to do. You got to know the proper steps. And I think that when he's facing these tough situations right now early on in the season, all of his mathematical thinking and his critical thinking is going out the window.
Yeah.
And he's just all right, I just need to throw. And I need to get the ball into the strike zone. And maybe if you leave a splitter hanging up in the zone, they're not going to capitalize on it. But he's not making the wise decisions right now. And as the team's ace and the team's best pitcher, you need to be on top of your game. So hopefully by the next outing he has, should be sometime next week, probably Monday or Tuesday.
It's definitely not what you're looking for from your ace, though.
Yeah, figure it out, dude. So yeah, there's that. That's the Yankees right now. 1-4 on the season. I gotta look up the schedule after the break. It's not looking good for them right now. April's always a tough time for the Yankees too.
Yeah, I mean they've lost their last 6 season openers. So
yes, sir.
They always struggle in the beginning, but what's great about the Yankees is that they always make a comeback close to the end of the season. They'll always be in it just because they're the Yankees and they have that support from the fans and from the ownership, you know. So I think that they'll eventually start picking things up. It just takes a little while for them to get going.
I want to see them do good, and not just from a fan's perspective, but they're trying to prove a point that young talent does work and young talent can succeed. Because who knows, in a couple of years, we could be the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, they've been building that youth since 2008, 2007. They were first getting their fingers into the water, dipping their fingers into the water then. Getting into the postseason in 2008, and last season they came full circle, and hopefully for the Yankees' sake, they hope that it doesn't take them a full 7-8 years to get to that pinnacle.
Yeah,
again, and Cashman doesn't want that. He's trying to keep his job.
I think both the manager and the GM are trying to keep their job at this point. The Yankees are struggling.
Yeah,
if they don't make the playoffs this season, I think there's going to be some changes made.
And they know that, and they know that it's not good for baseball. The MLB's not happy when the Yankees aren't good.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
Yeah,
because you want, and the Yankees are like the 4th or 5th richest franchise
in sports.
Yeah.
So
so you want them to succeed. There needs to be a cash flow coming in and out, and they've got some good talent right now that people are paying attention to. People like Tanaka. They're reaching the market all over globally on Tanaka.
True.
They like Gary Sanchez. He's well personable person. They like him.
He seems like he's a very advertisable guy. You know, you can run some promos with that guy. He seems like a genuine person. Kind of cares about the team, cares about the fans.
Yep.
You know, hits a home run. He, always shout out, give a clap to the fans, say thank you. You know, you always want those kind of guys on your team.
You got guys like CC Sabathia who changed his life around, put himself in the public spotlight, said, "Hey, I have a problem." And he fixed himself, and he got the help that he needed. And you know what? He's here to prove a point, too. He's doing really well this season so far.
I think this whole Yankees team is trying to prove a point at this point, you know?
Everyone needs to come together.
They almost missed the playoffs last year. They might miss it this year. They definitely are trying to prove something. They're the Yankees, you know? They got to make it.
And more importantly, not only do the fans want this, but here's the thing. In this New York climate right now, the Mets, who are really hot, can take all the fair weather fans. People are fair weather fans in New York for the most part. If the Yankees are doing well, the Yankees are getting all the fans in New York. And the Mets have been the second-hand team in the city for last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to this point where the Mets
the Mets can get everything.
are the top tier. And if the Fairweather fans are tuning into baseball games, well, guess what? They're not tuning into the Yes Network. SNY is taking all the ratings, and they proved that last year. More people tuned into Mets games last year than they did to Yankees games.
I'm not surprised by that, to be honest.
So why is that?
The Mets are hitting really well right now.
Why is that?
They've got more characters on their team. You know, they've got Cespedes, they've got Jose Reyes. Just Jose Reyes being back on the team is huge for them because Jose Reyes was a big personality back in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, and just having someone like that back on the team who has so much character. I mean, personal things aside, he did bring a lot of character back in the day, and he brings it back now. And you've got players like Cespedes who were just absolutely riveting to watch. Like every time he's at bat, you're waiting for that ball to hang a little bit, just a little bit, so he can catch all of it and crush it out of the park. Because Citi Field's a big stadium.
Right.
Even with all the walls moving in and all the changes that they've made, it's still a big stadium. So for someone like Cespedes to hit 40-plus home runs in a stadium like Citi Field is really, really incredible.
Yeah. I don't know. The Mets are doing something right. They've got the right talent, and they're here to shock people too. But New York baseball is going to be up in a good place come this season. We've got a fighting Yankees team, and we've got a Mets team who's fighting against all odds, 12-1 chances to win the World Series, and they're pushing, and they're a freight train. So pay attention to New York baseball. We'll be right back. We're going to take our first break of the show. We're going to play some classical rock, or no, we're switching to the phone. I just forgot. What do we got lined up? The new Gorillaz?
Old Gorillaz.
Old Gorillaz.
Old Gorillaz, little radio.
All right.
Radio mix going for you.
All right, we're gonna check out this 19-2000 Soul Child remix from the Gorillaz singles collection from 2001 to 2011. They've got a new album coming out. Maybe we'll switch it up, talk some music on Paris Power Play. Who knows? This is Radiothon. This is WICR. Check us out on Twitter at Platano Guy at WICR1. DeLuca, share your tag with the people, even though you're not on social media.
At DeFlock of Flame.
DeFlock of Flame.
All social medias.
At your service.
I'll get
Snapchat,
back to you after Easter.
Instagram. And you'll be back after Easter. All right. This is WICR. We'll be right back. Radiothon. Thanks for tuning in.